This has to be the most popular question I get asked, so let's finally address it. If you're new, hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a British migrant, foreigner, whatever you like to call me, currently living in Vietnam. If you're a regular, it's been a year, 7 months and 2 weeks since I left England. Some would say that's long enough to form some pretty clear opinions about Da Nang. So to try and remove my bias, I'm going to go through the pros and cons at the same time for each topic. They do intertwine a lot, so I'm going to scrap the whole list method and we'll just discuss each topic as it comes. Let's begin with the main reason I moved here. Da Nang is a coastal city, so you get the beach and you get the city. If you're not a beach kind of person, then at least you get the views. And if you don't care for the views, at least you get a coastal breeze. Da Nang as a city is a big, vibrant, hustling, bustling city. There's a river that separates the two, so you've got the city side and the beach side. It's just the best of both worlds. I tried to rack my brains for cons of Da Nang being a coastal city, but honestly, I couldn't think of any. The beach ought to be a separate topic on its own. Central Vietnam is often referred to as the Gold Coast of Vietnam because the beach is that long. And it's not just long, it's wide, it's soft, it's clean, it's beautiful. Da Nang in particular has about 5 or 6 different beaches. My Khe Beach, which is the main beach, has beach clubs going all the way from Tra Peninsula in the north right down towards where you get to all the resorts, and you've got the private, exclusive resort life. If you love playing volleyball with random people or you want to mingle with the locals, go stand-up paddleboarding, kayaking, boating, paragliding. You can go to the main part of the beach, which is more central of My Khe. But then if you want a little bit of a luxurious beach day, you've got the resorts further down in the south. I really think Da Nang has a great beach life. The only con that I could think of was that maybe the beach clubs can't compare to places like Ibiza, Barcelona, Miami. I really don't know because I've never been to the places mentioned, but the beach clubs are small. The service is mediocre, the drinks aren't that great, the food is average. We'll cover all those topics separately, but if you're coming here for like a beach club holiday, I don't think Da Nang is the best place. We've got 1 or 2 that are sort of average, but what supersedes everything here about the beach life is the luxurious, quiet resorts that I in particular love. Next on the list, Tra Peninsula. Where do I start with this one? I've got some serious cons for this one, but we'll begin with the pros, right? It's the most beautiful backdrop that completely makes Da Nang. Whether you're on the south side of the beach or you're quite close up to the peninsula, it looks incredible. It's a very small mountain. It's only about 700 meters high. You can walk up it, cycle up it, motorbike up it, spectacular views from the top. I spent my entire first summer in Da Nang hanging out on Tra Peninsula. There's a couple of hikes that I do on the peninsula. You kind of go back, around and down, which is pretty cool because you end the hike with a swim in these natural rock pools. The water's super clear, very little people, bring a picnic. It's a great little hike. It's not long and it's not strenuous, but it's just a fun thing to do on the weekend. You can travel around the entire peninsula. It's a very undulating road. There's loads of peaks and there's loads of troughs. My biggest con is to do with that road. The natural landscape you expect is almost always ruined by metal signs, concrete roads, wheelie bins, rubbish bags, just a large social footprint all over the mountain. Even though it's respite from the busy city of Da Nang, the beeping, the horns, the traffic, tourists, lots of people, you do get up here, even to Lady Buddha, where we are right now, and it's pretty quiet. There's hundreds of tourists flooding the area, and it's nice to escape. But what you can't escape is the social footprint. You can't escape the litter, the pylons with the wiring and very poor wiring. It's not the landscape that you see in Europe, and that's just one of the biggest cons across the whole of Vietnam. Next subject, folks, is pollution. Air pollution, land pollution, noise pollution. The pros are that construction means new investment coming into Da Nang. Da Nang's actually flooding with a lot of investment. It also means developments, so new hotels, new resorts, new shops, restaurants, all sorts. The cons are that the construction makes it even noisier than Da Nang already is. When you're finding a place to live, you'll find that it's really hard to get away from the construction. It's all over the city. The new developments first look good, but then you realise that restaurants and pubs and bars, they come and go within 6 months, even coffee shops. Finally, I touched on the litter when we talked about nature, but you can't escape the litter. It's absolutely everywhere. You could have the most beautiful resort, and then 10 meters down the road is almost like a landfill site. I have heard some people complain about the air quality affecting their health. Some people come over here and get ill and stay ill for about 2 to 3 months. I can't speak from experience because luckily I haven't fallen ill. The air pollution doesn't really affect me. I do know that my iPhone tells me that it's pretty bad air quality every single day that I've been here in Da Nang. My VO2 max seems to drop when I'm in Da Nang, and then as soon as I take a trip, it goes right back up. It's something that you definitely should take in your stride. And the noise and the traffic, the beeping, that's all part of the culture. We are lucky to have found a house on a road in a really quiet residential area, and I'm sure you will too. Keep on hunting, stay away from the city side and like the main busy hectic areas if you do like a quiet peaceful place, but you can find some pockets of quiet around Da Nang. Let's talk about Vietnamese people next. I think for Vietnam, this is one of the biggest pros. They're some of the warmest and friendliest people I've ever come across. And I know Asia as a continent is known to be warm and hospitable, but I feel like Vietnam takes it to a whole nother level. Nobody gets a cold reception. From the minute you are exposed to Vietnamese people as a foreigner, it's almost as if you're a celebrity. They are so happy to see you, they're always smiling, and they'll put in maximum effort to try and conversate with you. Some of the cons, however, are about communication. English is very limited here. You'll often have a better conversation with a 10-year-old child that's just had his English class at school than with an adult. And you can obviously use translator, but it's not always accurate. As a multilingual person, I love languages. I also just love putting in a little bit of effort with a new language and learning a few phrases. I can't get the tones right. I can't get the words right. Nobody could understand me. And apparently, Da Nang has the central Vietnamese accent. So it's a little bit like arriving in the UK, never being exposed to English, and the first accents that you hear are Scouse or a Scotsman. It would be so difficult to understand English, right? That's what arriving in Da Nang is sort of like. So my advice would be get a class if you're here long term. You could put a little bit of effort in, and I'm sure with more consistency, you'll be way better than me, and you will be able to get by with just a little bit of Vietnamese. Let's talk about shopping. It's a quick one because there's not much of it. If you're a shopaholic, you will be disappointed in Da Nang. We now have 2 malls though. We did have one called Vincom Plaza. A new one's just opened up. It's called Aeon Mall and it's ginormous. Well, big for Da Nang. And we've got a Uniqlo, which is incredible, and a Muji. That's changed the shopping scene in Da Nang a lot. But that is pretty much all we've got, guys. There's a couple of big Singaporean brands. You might have heard of them, Charles & Keith and Pedro. Probably more for the ladies than the men. But honestly, I struggle with cosmetics because I'm brown. There's not much cosmetic choice for me here. And I struggle with clothing size. In the UK, I'm about a size 8, but over here, believe it or not, I'm a size large to extra large. So please be mindful when you come over here that you probably won't find much fashion choice. There is one huge benefit about this, which is less consumerism. Right, next topic, expat community. Pretty heavy topic, this one. Some of you might not like what I have to say, but I am banking on the fact that my channel should attract like-minded individuals. So hopefully many of you watching are looking for the same things that I am as you walk through life. We'll start with the pros. There is an expat community present here in Da Nang. There are foreigners here. There's lots of Russians, if you're looking for a Russian community. There's lots of Americans, and specifically retired Americans. Da Nang seems to attract a lot of retirees. There's loads of meetups. I attend a lot of sporting meetups, or I just play a lot of sports in general, so I meet a lot of people that way. Tennis meetups, yoga. If you followed the channel from its inception, you'll probably remember we held our own golf events. So we met a bunch of people that way. We had like 60 in attendance the first couple of times, all the way up to 110, 120 people. So you're actually looking at someone that went all out in their first year moving to Da Nang. We socialized a lot. Lots of non-sporting meetups too. If you're into dancing, chess, games nights, bar crawls, pub crawls, food tours, lots of that going on. There's even AI meetups or tech meetups, developers, all that sorts of stuff. Lots going on that you can put an effort into, you can take initiative, and you can find the people that you resonate with. The cons are, and I don't know how to say this lightly or nicely, Da Nang seems to attract a certain demographic of people, of Westerners, specifically Westerners trying to look for the cheapest lifestyle. Westerners that have bottled Vietnam down to a price tag. And I seem to repel that mindset because I call that a scarcity mindset when you're running away from your life in the West or you're running away from financial problems. That's scarcity mindset. And I want to surround myself with people with an abundance mindset. Even if you don't feel abundant, having an abundance mindset, being an initiative taker, being a problem solver, a go-getter, someone that isn't always moaning and complaining. And that seems to be really popular with this scarcity mindset sort of crowd. And you'll see this on the Facebook groups. I would suggest to stay away from the Facebook groups if that is not your crowd, because it's full of people with too much time on their hands, very bitter, seem to be a little bit territorial about Da Nang for some odd reason, even though they're not indigenous to this land, but hey ho. I do, however, still believe that if you stay true to who you are, you will attract people like yourself into your life. I wanted to be honest, guys, this is the reality of Da Nang. There's no point you envisaging this huge social circle full of entrepreneurs and unique, inquisitive, creative people that you kind of think about when you think of Bangkok or Kuala Lumpur. They're huge, thriving, cosmopolitan places where you can meet unique individuals so easily. Da Nang is not like that, and I just wanted to prepare you because this is the main reason, or one of the biggest reasons, why I'll only be here for another year and a half. I think people are assets, and I am a very social person, and I love playing sports, and most sports you need playing partners, but I also love being around people where I can have deep and meaningful conversation. We can talk geopolitics or business, entrepreneurship, just life in general. And I kind of want the two to coincide, and I'm finding that really hard here. But let's end on a positive. There are good people here. You can find them. Go out there, put some effort in, take some initiative. You could even host your own meetups. There's loads of apps you can connect with other people, and I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for. Next subject, folks, is the weather. Stick with me now because I might say a few things that you wouldn't expect. Vietnam has just two seasons: hot season and rainy season. There's no denying we all love hot, sunny weather. And in Vietnam, the summer isn't like a European summer. It's not hot in the day and then cooler at night. It's just 30 to 35 degrees all flipping day. It can be really fun, especially in Da Nang. You've got the beach, the sea, you can sunbathe, swim, go kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, jet skiing. You could even hit up a few of the waterfalls. But notice I'm only mentioning the water sports. That's because it's one of the main ways you won't overheat in the Vietnamese sun. It gets really hot here and you can bake. I won't play tennis or badminton during the day, and playing a 4-hour round of golf in the heat is an absolute killer. Even if you just go for a walk, you'll come back completely drenched in sweat. So most people here go out early morning around 4-5 a.m. or in the evening around 5-6 p.m. This is why I love rainy season. The advantage is that you get respite from the heat. It switches up your lifestyle, your activities. It breaks up the year and sort of shakes your routine up a little bit. You do get sick of the constant sweating, covering your arms up, never leaving the house without sunscreen, always looking for grabs with AC instead of just jumping on your motorbike. There are so many more activities that are more enjoyable in cooler weather. I also think life just slows down a little bit more. Instead of constantly running to an AC restaurant, you'll sit on the little stools outside under a shelter and just watch the traffic go by or listen to the rain. You'll spend more time indoors with friends. We love hosting, so we'll always host a load of games nights. The cons of rainy season are pretty obvious. It's wet, it's miserable, cloudy, overcast, the usual. The rain isn't continuous though, so it might come for a few days at a time, especially if there's a storm. Sometimes that could take 2 or 3 days to clear up. and the river just gets really dirty, murky. The sea is a bit more dangerous and choppy. I guess that's good for the surfers though. You do see a lot of surfers out in rainy season. There's always a silver lining. I think it's quite nice to switch up your lifestyle and make the most out of both seasons. Let's talk about food next, folks. This is a big topic online and it's very subjective, so please don't gun me down in the comments. There are some absolute bangers in the Vietnamese cuisine. I love pho, mi quang, cao lo, spring rolls. There's loads of other dishes that you'll also love. They're fresh, they're full of veggies, and there's plenty of choices around Da Nang for local cuisine. If you're into seafood, Da Nang being a coastal city and all, loads of seafood at every street corner. And if you love cooking, there's lots of fresh fruit, fresh veg, basically lots of markets all over the city. So you could cook every day if that was your thing. The bit where it gets subjective is that I don't think Vietnamese cuisine is quite diverse. There are some absolutely banging dishes, but there's only a few. It doesn't compare to, say, Indian cuisine or Thai cuisine or Chinese cuisine, where there's a huge variety of dishes from rice, noodles, salads, meat, veg. Most Vietnamese dishes are quite low in protein, so you don't really feel satiated. But also, you don't eat the same sort of food every day, so I'm sure you're interested in the Western outlets. And unfortunately, Da Nang does fall a little bit short when it comes to Western food. There's not a huge variety of Western places. In fact, I'm sat right now at one of my favorite joints in Da Nang, and it's Port City Bagels. This bagel place is top tier in Da Nang, alongside a couple of others. And once you've found your spots, you'll end up going to them regularly because there's not a huge variety of Western places. Da Nang is a much smaller city than Bangkok and Kuala Lumpur, for example. So it's not really fair to compare against those major, thriving cosmopolitan cities. But it's worth noting that the food scene isn't extravagant in Da Nang. Let's talk about pace of life next. It's very slow here in Vietnam. So the pros are that you get to be more present. It's a break from the fast-paced, hectic, chaotic life that we live over in the West, especially if you come from a major city like London or New York. It's the complete opposite in Vietnam. You'll see Grab drivers taking a nap on their motorbike. You'll see taxi drivers having a nap in their car. I think there's a big siesta culture here, and it does give you the chance to be more present, to go for walks, to have a bit more reflective time each and every day. The cons, however, are that this slow-paced lifestyle leaks into business. It leaks into the corporate world, so don't expect the same service. I'm talking restaurants, hotels, golf clubs, taxi service. Everyone is taking a chill pill, especially when you want something done fast. Don't expect that over here. In the West, some offices allow you to bring your kids to work. They want you to bring your kids to work so that you're not wasting time commuting to the play school and back. They want you to bring your washing to work. They want you to take a nap at work so that you could limit commuting time, which makes you more productive throughout the day. That culture is the complete opposite here in Vietnam. Sometimes it can be really irritating, especially when you're paying a premium, like golf. You don't really get the premium service even though there's a premium price tag. This is an extremely important point if you're somebody that wants to invest in Vietnam, maybe get a business visa or buy property, etc. Just know it's not going to be done as quick as we do it in the West. Got a couple of random pros and cons to think about. First one being the airport. It's very convenient to have an international airport nearby, and it's just 10 minutes away if you live on the city side. Wherever you live across Da Nang, north or all the way down south by the resorts, you're only ever between 10 to 25 minutes away. The only con that I can think of is that it might be a little bit small for the amount of traffic that's set to arrive in Da Nang. I used to breeze through immigration within 10 to 15 minutes. Now wait times could be up to an hour. Another random point is about the amount of daylight you get each day. It remains the same throughout the entire year, which is really weird for people who live in Europe, because during the summer we have extended daylight hours. Like you could be having a barbecue all the way up until 9:30 p.m. at night. Whereas over here, the sunset is the same throughout the entire year. So it's great if you love winter, but it sucks if you love the long days we get in a European summer. Another random point is time zone. You've probably thought about this, but it's still worth mentioning for the video. If you live on an Eastern time zone, but you work on a Western, your days will be flipped. So you're going to be working in the evenings. Some people absolutely hate this. I love it. I love having a slow morning, getting all my energy exerted throughout the day, sports, recreational stuff, activities, friends, whatever. And then that helps me calm down for the evening, and then I can easily sit at my laptop between 6 to 8 hours. Fourth point is safety. I don't think there's a high crime rate in Da Nang. I'm comparing it to London, which might be a little bit extreme, so please fact check this. But that rubbish Facebook group that I spoke about always has high alert of major issues going on, and more often than not, it involves a foreigner, which is pretty sad because we should be respecting the laws. Kids are out playing until 10 p.m, not even on the same road they live on, so that's a big signal that it is quite safe. I see phones left in mopeds, no one's stealing phones out of hands like they do in London, and sometimes I leave my keys in the motorbike, and when I return, they're still there. So I think Da Nang is a pretty safe place. Point number 5, infrastructure. I think the infrastructure here will surprise you. The roads can be better than the roads in England. It's wild. Freshly laid tarmac, no potholes. Even if you drive out deep into the sticks, the roads will be fantastic. The bridges are great. There's roads cutting up mountains. I mean, why hike when you can drive to the top, right? I guess that's one con. The other con is wiring. I've mentioned it before, I really hate the wiring. It's done so badly, it's horrid and you can't get away from it. And talking about the sticks, I forgot a crucial point about the food culture. I love that I can organise a 100-kilometre cycle ride with no prep, no food, and along the way, I'll always find a coconut stand or somebody selling sugarcane juice or watermelon juice or a banh mi stand. The accessibility to food is incredible. If hygiene bothers you, this might not be the best option. Point number 6, my final point, convenience. The convenience here will make you so lazy. That's my only con, because it's such a massive pro. There is someone, or there are plenty of people for anything that you need, whether it's a chauffeur or a hair wash, a manicure, a pedicure, someone to do your makeup, a private chef, someone to fix your motorbike, a plumber, a sparky, anything. And everyone is reachable and accessible within minutes, all with your smartphone through a couple of different apps, Betaski or Grab or InDrive, someone to even do your washing, just anything and everything that you can think of, there will be a service here ready to accommodate that. Finally, folks, I wanted to end with this. All the pros and cons that you see online won't even matter if you're thinking about living in Da Nang long term. For that, you really need to come here and reside for a long period of time to decide for yourself, because all our priorities are different. So the lens through which I see Da Nang could be completely inapplicable to you. For example, I mentioned a pretty poor Western food scene. But if you're in the hospitality sector and you want to build a brand, build a name for yourself, set up a restaurant, even grow into a franchise, you would see Da Nang as a huge opportunity. You would be the pioneer of a new cuisine or delicacy. In terms of growth, Da Nang is about a decade off its neighbour, Thailand. So now would be the right time to be established. And some would see that as a huge opportunity to seize. I'm not in the hospitality game, so my lens is very different. My lens is through the lens of golf, and that's why in terms of people, sponsorships, accessibility, collabs, this isn't the place for me. This isn't the place that's thriving. And secondly, my business is all online over in the West. So my geographic location does not dictate my income. If that resonates with you and you're simply traveling around for the culture, the connection with the locals, or the expats, the fitness life, for example, Da Nang doesn't seem to be that much of a thriving hub just yet. Again, if you want to establish something of your own here, now would be the most perfect time. But in terms of connection with the locals, my style of connection is very different. It's through movement, through sport, through activities. So the language barrier hasn't really affected me. I play badminton with Vietnamese people, it's football on the streets, or if I take my Nerf or Frisbee to the beach, 9 times out of 10, there's going to be some Vietnamese lads that get involved. That's the way I kind of connect with the locals, and I'm happy with that. I haven't put the effort in to learn the language. I said before, it's really difficult, and now that I'm already thinking of jetting off, it doesn't really feel worth it to me. But you can. You can connect with the locals through language. I have a really good friend that is a Vietnamese teacher to lots of foreigners in Da Nang. She sets up language exchange programs as well, like just free meetups where foreigners can speak Vietnamese to the Vietnamese and they can in turn practice their English. Stuff like that is incredible if verbal connection is what you require. So you can really make a place anything you want it to be. It just depends on the lens through which you see it. And I won't accept that Da Nang is boring. Da Nang is anything but boring. I would have had some of the best years of my life here before I leave. And the main reason I'm leaving, guys, is that I see life through a golf lens. And I really can't change the industry here. I don't have the time to wait a decade for the industry to come around, so it's time for me to jet off. We'll get to that in another video. Guys, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If it was helpful, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and wherever you are in the world, be wild, be safe. I'll see you in the next one.
Get around. Get around. Get around.
Get in. Get your helmet on. Helmet on. Go put it on.
I'm so... Yes!
Get in the fucking raft.
Not going. Oh, we did it.
Get it, well done.
We did it.